Hello, everyone. This is Pastor Miguel from the Children's Bread Deliverance Ministry Church here in Maryland. You know, I've been a deliverance minister for a very long time, so I want to talk to you about the UFO that was seen in Las Vegas recently. Also, the creatures that people were seeing over there in Las Vegas. They actually recorded some of the creatures, and they caught the so-called UFO as it was crashing or going down. And so today I want to talk to you about Las Vegas from my point of view as a deliverance minister, as an exorcist, dealing with the demonic for many, many years. And I'll tell you two stories about two cases where I encountered these things and how I dealt with them. But before we get going, let me just say I have in the video here I have woodcuts from the 1500. And in the 1500, people saw these discs up in the sky, and it looked like they were fighting each other. As a matter of fact, if you look at some of these pictures, you could actually see some of this disc down on the ground, and they had smoke coming up from them. And so most people would say this is a UFO battle. They were battling. UFOs were battling. Okay, and I can understand where people could think that. But the only reason why you think these things are UFO is because somebody told you that they were aliens from another planet or galaxy. And so when somebody told you that, immediately, every time you see something round that looks like a disc, your mind thinks this is an alien, or something that looks like an alien gray, for example. You say this is actually an alien or UFO. So the reality is that these things are not, from another planet or from another galaxy. They are what we call falling angels. And what you saw in the video of the UFO in Las Vegas is actually a falling angel falling down. They were knocked down. They were probably having some kind of war in the second heaven, and they were knocked down. And this is very common, as you can see here in the woodcut from the 1500. They were battling. And so, the war is getting really intense, even for me as a deliverance minister. We're dealing with stuff we have never dealt in the past. We're in the end times, and you're going to see more and more of this stuff going on, with these falling angels being knocked down. And we know this happens because in the book of Daniel, chapter 10, we see how Michael and Gabriel fought these principalities up on the second heaven. And this is the result, what we see, is these wars in heaven. And in these woodcuts from the 1500s, you see exactly, how people are naming them UFO. And let me click on some of this. Hold on a second. Here. It says here, Nuremberg UFO woodcut. Painting with UFO in the background. And so, people recorded these things and they painted it because they were so extraordinary. One of them looks like a whole bunch of suns. Some of them are red and some of them are black. But these are actually battles that are happening in the second heaven. And somehow, people were able to see these battles and they recorded them in a woodcut. Now, I want to show some of the video from the so-called UFO crash in Las Vegas recently. And let me go back. Let me see if I can go back all the way to the back. I was watching this, but I want you to look at this because the guy first starts off by saying, are we alone? Well, we know the answer to that. We know that we are alone as humans, but there's angels, okay? And there's angels, there's good angels, and there are bad angels. And so let me go ahead and put this.
Have you ever looked up and wondered, is there anybody else out there? Last night we brought you a story out of Vegas that made us even more curious.
So when people see these so-called shooting stars like that, this is obviously an angel being cast down, a falling angel being cast down. And this is why after they touch down, you see these creatures in the back of this young man's house in the UFO Las Vegas recent sighting. They see these aliens, so-called aliens, but these are really falling angels. They've been cast down from the battle up on the second heaven. So let me go ahead and place that up here. One second.
Green flashing triangle was. But it's not just what people saw, it's also what they heard. Listen to this audio picked up by a witness. It says this came from a neighborhood Ring doorbell cam.
We have alien crash.
What was that? And now listen to this eyewitness explain what happened next.
I hear something fall from the sky. I turn around, the only thing I see is a big light falling from the sky, and moments after I feel a big impact and a bang, sort of like a big impact. It was sort of like a shock wave, like an out-of-body experience. So to say, when I tried to look at the object, it was all blurry, not my vision, but only the backyard area. And I hear thousands of footsteps around me.
So it wasn't just footsteps he heard. This kid says he witnessed an alien invasion.
No.
See, this is an interesting thing. He actually goes and he tells you that when he looked at the creatures, he became confused and he was paralyzed. This is the same thing we see in the Bible when people are confronted by angels. They become paralyzed. And, I'm going to tell you two stories about so-called aliens and deliverance ministry and exorcism, okay? So the first case I had is I had a young man who was having visitations by these so-called aliens. And, they called me because the parents were concerned about these aliens going into the room and having conversations with this young man. What this young man didn't realize is that the aliens were living inside of him. They were demons. And so, through deliverance, we were able to get these demons to actually confess. And we cast him out of the young man, and he never saw aliens again. Okay, so that's number one. Number two was a woman that was involved in New Age. She was having conversations with the so-called fallen angels and demons. And what happened was she was having constant connections. So we confronted the demons inside the woman, and we demanded that we demanded from the aliens to tell the woman who they really were. And they manifested and they told the women that they were demons and they were fallen angels. So after she realized that she was actually commuting with fallen angels and demons, we were able to cast the demons out of her and the fallen angels. Okay? So we cast them out of her and she was delivered. So these so-called aliens, when you see them, they're not who you think they are. They're not from another planet. They're not from another galaxy. They're demons. They're not extraterrestrials. They're fallen angels. And you're seeing them because they're more and more they're being cast down from the second heaven because there's a war going on. We're in the end times. This is it. This is the end times. And they're going to manifest more and more because they're getting knocked out from the second heaven. So remember the Bible says I saw Satan fall like lightning, right? And so, and in Revelation it talks about, how Satan was cast down to the earth. So this is what's happening now. We're in the end times. This is the manifestations doing deliverance are tougher. The demons are getting stronger, and it's because these things are going on. The world is more ungodly. The world is more into witchcraft and perversion. And so, as we see, these things bring these demonic manifestations that are very powerful. And so, I just want to let you guys know, this stuff that's going on, this is not about an alien. This is angelic stuff, demonic stuff that's happening, okay? So anyways, I hope this video helps you clear and understand what these things are. They're not who you think they are, okay? God bless you guys, and thank you for watching this video.